discussion now to netball as home fans were brought to their feet after being treated to a spectacular performance by Jamaica's Sunshine Girls, who defeated England Roses in the deciding fourth test at the National Indoor Sports Centre in Kingston. This on Tuesday to win the series 2-1. Well, the Sunshine Girls, they fell behind early after making an adjustment to the starting lineup. But Romelda Aiken-George, who ended with 40 from 43 attempts, and Shanice Beckford, 21 from 25, supported a strong defensive effort led by player of the series, Shamira Sterling Humphrey, to rally Jamaica back from a four-goal first quarter deficit to a commanding 61-53 win. Well, team captain Sterling Humphrey, she was, of course, full of praise for her team. Meanwhile, the England Roses captain Francesca Williams was disappointed not to make it over the line. All right, so Ricardo, you know, this match has been the talk of the town. This series has been the talk of the town. And one of the things about, you know, me, I'm so proud that, you know, we, the home of champions, had it.
Yes.
Because I love when people say, hey, Mariah, you know, this big match coming up, where can we watch it? And I get to say, oh, yeah, you can watch it on SportsMax. So all of that, joy and pride, us winning, the storylines, the close matchups, this series had everything in it.
Yeah, it was a terrific series, and not just the final two matches in Kingston, but from the opening game at the AO Arena in England, in Manchester, England. Remember, that one ended in a 49-all tie. And then you came to Kingston. The Jamaicans won a one-goal thriller in the third game, and then running away with it late on. But England started like a house on fire. The Jamaicans didn't start clean at all, but they were able to recover, and I thought that was just brilliant. So great match last night to finish off on a terrific series with two of the best teams in the world of netball.
One of the things is I think I'm super funny, and I always say, like, you know, if this doesn't work out for me, it has been working out. I'll just be like a comedian on the side. So you say house on fire, and I'm thinking, oh, so the Sunshine Girls were like cooling them down coming down to the end. And I'm like cracking up in my brain. But you know what? My producer says no more jokes and that I need to hear from both captains. So let's take Jamaica's first.
Oh my God, it's such an overwhelming feeling. Now that my team hasn't played international netball since the World Cup, and to come out and put on a performance like that on a team who have played 17 test matches in the World Cup is very commendable. All of us are really good friends outside of the netball environment, and I think that's where the camaraderie comes in, and the gel and the unit, so really grateful for that.
No matter how hard it will be to win in Jamaica, but you know, it's disappointing for us when we started that game so strong that we let them back in. And, you know, we need to be confident that we were able to chase the game yesterday and get ourselves back into it. And we were able to lead the game today, but then we weren't able to close it off. So we just need to be able to get full game performance in.
Right, of course, you can feel the energy even through the screens, you know, everybody tuning out to support the Sunshine Girls. Well, Jamaica's Suns captain and the netball coach, analyst Kurt Dale, was on commentary, and he joins us via Zoom to review the fourth test and the series as a whole. Kurt, this series had everything in it. Everything.
Yeah. Yes, thanks for having me again. Love working with the SportsMax team. But absolutely, the series had everything. I mean, at times we felt like we were watching two sports in one. I was wondering if it was a tennis match at some point, because the back and forth between these two teams, it was just phenomenal for the sport. But the rivalry between Jamaica and England, it has been long-standing, and we were treated to a feast throughout the series.
Yeah, and you have to, you know, make mention, Kurt, of the standout players, because, yes, the entire Sunshine Girls, they played as a team, and we heard from the captain that, you know, they have good relationships out of this sport, so that helps, and I always find that to be true. When you get along with your team, you know, you actually like the people that you play with, then when it's on the court, you know, it's do or die, you're fighting for them. Based on your assessment for the few days that you worked as well, can you let me know who were your standout players if you had to just give an award, let's say?
Well, Shamira Sterling Humphrey, she got the player of the series, but I thought it was a difficult decision for whoever made that decision. I'm happy it was not me. But from an English perspective, I thought Fumi Dojo, the goal defense for England, I thought she was the main threat for the Jamaicans. She was the person who kept the English in the game every time the Jamaicans threatened to pull away. And she was consistent across all 4 games. So I thought she was someone who could also be considered for the player of the series. Also, from a Jamaican perspective, Jodian Ward, we saw her not starting in game 4, and we saw how that worked out for the Jamaicans, and she came on in that game and turned it on its head pretty much. So she was a standout player for Jamaicans as well. Also, Shanice Beckford, her work rate in attack was exceptional.
Yeah, a lot of exceptional players. And I mean, as I said, it's a team effort. So, you know, one player can't be doing well alone and we expect the team to win. I have to ask you, though, Sasha K. Henry, coach of the Jamaica Sunshine Girls, run the role over her and how she went about her duties.
Sasha is an absolute professional. She knows her stuff around the court. She has been a player. She was a player for the Sunshine Girls for a number of years and now transitioned in the coaching role. This is her second stint, so she has a lot of experience. She's also a player-first coach, so she relates quite well to the players. And I think her ability to reach the players and bring out the best in them was shown in this series. Because at times, like at the start of the series, the Jamaicans looked flat, and that was expected. They haven't played for 15 months, and then these players from Australia, they just came in like 3 weeks before the series, and they were in and out of training because of university commitments. So to bring them together, to have them play the way how they played in that series, and to finish how they finished, it's some credit should be given to Sasha Gay Henry. So kudos to her.
Yeah, for sure, Kurt. Let's compare how the Sunshine Girls played in this series to the last time we saw them, which was at the World Cup last year, where they finished third, of course, and had that narrow semi-final defeat to the eventual champions, Australia.
All right, so back then at the World Cup, the attacking unit, they were much more clinical. So that was the challenge of both teams here in this series. The attackers struggled because of the strong defensive pressure from each team. Back at the World Cup, Jamaica, the turnovers was like single digits per game. And we are looking at them turning over the ball 25 times. They were averaging about 25 turnovers throughout the series. So that's a massive jump from 9-10 when they were at the World Cup. So that was the case for most of the series. And the team that was able to take care of the ball best in that last game, they would have come out victor than the Jamaicans were lucky to do that in the end.
Yeah, so are you suggesting that the discipline might not be the same just yet in this unit? I mean, or is it that England's defence is at the moment better than any defence that the Jamaicans faced a year and a half ago?
No, I wouldn't say the defence is much stronger than at that point. At that point, I think the Sunshine Girls, they were at the peak of their powers, and they had the best goal shooter in the world in Janelle Fowler at that time. No discredit to Ramelda Aiken. She stepped in, coming off an injury, and she played exceptional throughout the series. But at that time, the girls were extremely fit. They were all playing together for a period before that, and they were match sharp and well prepped going into that World Cup. I don't think the same amount of preparation was given to this series, and that's no fault of Sasha Gay Henry or her team. It's just that the girls came back from SSN, from Australia late, and they joined the group, and players like Romelda, she was out of the program and she joined them in England, so she had no prior preparation with the team before England. So those factors play a part.
Yeah, when you take all of that into account, you have to really give a lot of credit to players like Khadija Williams, who I thought when she was on court, her feeds into Romelda were brilliant. And then we saw last night as well, the player of the game, Rhea Dixon. She came on, and I really hope that people understand the type of difference that she made. You spoke a lot about Jodian Ward and how she changed the game when she came on. I felt the same about Rhea Dixon as well.
Yes, absolutely. Rhea had great impact. Her speed, her vision into the circle. And the good thing for Rhea Dixon is she knows these English players well. So she was able to add a little spice to the attacking end, and it really paid dividends for the Jamaicans.
Yeah, let's look at the world context of netball at the moment, because I think it's unlike anything we've ever seen in the game. In recent months, we've seen England beat New Zealand, New Zealand beat Australia, and now we have Jamaica beating England. Is world netball at its most competitive ever at the top?
Yeah, easily we can say it's at the highest level now, where most of the top 4 teams, they are on similar level, and that's credit to the work being done in Australia at the SSN level, because what you see is that most of the players from Jamaica and Australia, well, Jamaica has 6, 7, 8 players in SSN. England have a few over there as well, and then the Silver Ferns, they play in their domestic league. So because of these high intensity competitions on a regular basis now, the players are getting more game time and more experience. So you find that when they go back to their home countries, they're bringing back some of that experience there, and the countries are getting stronger. And it's really good to see. And I mean, by the time we get to the next World Cup, it's really going to be a roll of the dice to see who takes the title then.
Yeah, and interestingly, Kurt, because, you know, there were a few players from the Sunshine Girls end who would normally be part of the setup who were not involved in this series. So you think of Janelle Fowler, of course, a late withdrawal. You think about Shimona Jacques, who has incredible talent in that goal shoot position as well. Nicole Dixon was not involved here. So 3 players who generally are so or can be important to the setup. Well, Jacques she is quality, but she hasn't been a consistent member. Do any of those 3 in any way struggle to get into the unit when the Sunshine Girls next play, which will be against South Africa next year, assuming everyone is fit and available?
Well, I mean, Janelle Fowler, what can we say about her? Book her ticket to the next World Cup without even seeing her play. That's the quality of player she is. And as I mentioned in commentary, not only about her on-court talent, but also her leadership. And I think that's something that the Sunshine Girl will look to if they are to compete in the next World Cup. But Shimona Jacques, she is a special talent, and she is the future of the Sunshine Girls in that shooting circle. And I expect her to be in the mix come the next World Cup. Nicole Rochester, midcourt dynamite. I think she will have a space in there. It won't be easy for her, because when you look at the performance of Abigail Sutherland last night, you're thinking, okay, we're making good progress with that center position. But Nicole is a quality player, and I expect her to come back stronger and hungrier than she left.
Yeah, for sure. So we certainly look forward to that. And, you know, you point out Shimona Jacques being the future. Let's not forget, she's 25 years old. She's going to be, what, 29 at the next World Cup? So the future needs to be now. And it's a tough decision for the coaching staff to make, because you have Romilda, you have Janelle Fowler. They're in their 30s. This girl is 25. She has to start getting some serious playing time sometime soon, because you just never know what will happen in 4 years. But I won't put you on the spot to answer that, Kurt. Thanks very much. Great work over the 2 matches at the National Indoor Sports Centre alongside Gerard Morrisili, and I'm sure you'll be involved come January again against South Africa. Take care.
I appreciate you. Take care, guys.
Yeah, thanks. Do you know that he breathed a sigh of relief when you said that you didn't ask him, right? I saw it on his face. Can you stop doing that?
Doing what?
Stressing all the guests.
I saved him.
No, I know, and I can see his face. He was just like, oh, thank God. Right there.